there was a massive corruption, incompetence, mismanagement, and illiteracy. It was so massive among the Afghan army. When we look into the media, it's almost none of the media comparing the Taliban to the previous government, which was under the US. Most of them, they love to compare the recent Taliban to the previous Taliban, where the new Taliban is called as the neo-Taliban. So my question, Dr. Ahmad, all right, after 20 years, what was the biggest achievement by the previous government in Afghanistan? Please, Dr. Ahmad. Yeah, thank you very much. I think in all fairness, to be fair with the previous government of Afghanistan, after the American takeover, after the Operation Enduring Freedom into December 2001, the America and NATO, its allies, NATO forces, installed the new government of Afghanistan that is under the leadership of the interim government is Hamid Karzai. Yeah. Hamid Karzai was the president of Afghanistan from the beginning until 2014, I think. So he was a Sunni in the first place, and he was also a Pashtun. I think American government tried to find a more or less acceptable candidates for the president of Afghanistan so that they can actually work together with them. So Karzai was like being the president for quite some time, and he tried to actually he tried to persuade Taliban to work with them, but Taliban was opposing because they believe that that government is the proxy government and the puppet government, and it is not being actually chosen by the Afghan people. However, the Northern Alliance actually gave a full backing to this Afghan government during that time. And I would say during this Karzai time as well, secretly, Karzai making the arrangement with Taliban to allow them to return back to Kandahar. Yeah, actually, that was the people say that was the beginning of the rise of Taliban. So somewhere in 2010, I think Karzai allowed them to come back to Kandahar and regroup, because I think it is because of the tribal loyalty on the part of the Hamid Karzai, and also the threats, the security threats to him as well. Because if you do not allow our people, maybe, the Pashtun, their loyalty to the tribe is more important, I would say. And if you don't do it, there would be a revenge. There would be a protection. So Hamid Karzai, actually, to the dismay of the American government, they allowed Taliban to come back. And of course, Taliban launched war of attrition for so many years. The war of attrition is the most difficult war for any occupying forces, because you fight the enemies, you fight the elusive enemies, meaning that during the day you cannot find them. At night, that you are going to find yourself surrounded by the enemies, and suddenly they got killed in the process. And then the use of IED, improvised explosive devices, a lot. So American soldiers were killed on regular basis, including the Afghan soldiers as well. So that was the style of the Taliban, because they believe that they fought for their homeland, they fought for their religion, and they fought for their people. So they have nothing to lose. For the American people, they went there. Well, they say that we are here just to take care of other people's country. And the Afghan soldier also, they fought half-heartedly, because after all, they are fighting their own people. So sometimes they fight, sometimes they don't fight. It depends. Sometimes the loyalty, the split between loyalty to the state of the government of Afghanistan and split loyalty to the tribe as well. So that was the dilemma as well. And there is another point. When Ashraf Ghani came to power, 2014, there was a report, a massive corruption happened. I think there is a report by the SIGAR. SIGAR is the Special Prosecutor for Reconstruction of Afghanistan, who released a report. He said that there was a massive corruption, incompetence, mismanagement, and illiteracy. It was so massive among the Afghan army, as well as the people who are working with the government. And of course, in the army, for example, in the recent years, in the recent months, there was a report that this unpaid salary by the government, because the commander or the general, they pocket the money and they do not pay the salary for the soldiers. And the American soldiers reported in Cigar report in 2021, he said that when we are about to go for an operation, the Afghan soldier was just wake up from sleep and asking for food. They don't
My
have
God.
enough food, and they have even the shoes, the substandard equipment. The weapon is jammed. They cannot fire. They cannot shoot, and the building is so bad. So that was the level of corruption that we can find in there. So
Mhm.
when American finally felt that this war of attrition cannot go on. And if you remember, in 2020, Trump said, enough is enough.
Yeah.
He made the cost benefit analysis. He said that we are not going to do this because we spent so much money, 145 billion, so over 20 years, and we achieve almost very minimal outcome. This cannot go on. So finally, he decided to make peace with Taliban and pull out. And sure enough, Taliban was quickly. And I asked actually the guy who said, "What do you think about the rise of Taliban in Afghanistan?" He said that I'm not really surprised, but what I really surprised is the quickness of the Taliban's takeover in Afghanistan.